Jai Shri Mataji. We have all heard about Shri Lalita Sahasranam, the 1000 names of Shri Lalita Devi. These names are extremely powerful and bestow the seeker with great siddhis. Shri Devi Khadgamala Stotra is another powerful hymn addressed to Devi Lalita, meant to awaken the deities and yoginis in our chakras. Likewise, Shri Lalita Ashtakarika Stotra is also a well-known prayer of invocation. Devi Lalita is often worshipped with the help of a yantra called the Shri Yantra. But who is Devi Lalita? She is the primordial mother of the universe, also known as Adi Shakti. She is worshipped by even Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra and their respective consorts. She is beyond all kinds of Maya, for it is she who creates these Mayas to keep us in the illusion of life. All aspects of universe have emerged from her. That is why the first name in the Lalita Sahasranama is Shri Mata, meaning the Great Mother. The Brahmanda Puran explains the story of Devi Lalita and how she resurrected the creation when it was upon the brink of destruction. The chapter in the Brahmanda Puran that tells this story is called Lalitopakhyan. In this video series, we will listen to a condensed version of Lalitopakhyan so that later it becomes easy to understand the shlokas of another great poetic work, Saundarya Lahari. Listening to the leelas and greatness of Lalitamba is equivalent to drinking elixir as well as getting the darshan of Lalitamba herself. So let us begin. It all started when the world was going through the terrible Karma Pralaya. For those who are unaware, Karma Pralaya is one of the many types of pralayas or great dissolutions that the world goes through every once in a while. But what makes Karma Pralaya different is that unlike other pralayas, Karma Pralaya is not an instantaneous dissolution of the world. Instead, it is a very slow process in which gradually every living thing becomes dull, ugly, and devoid of joy and energy, virtually like a dead body, and ultimately loses its ability to reproduce, thus causing mass extinction. But all this doesn't happen because of some epidemic or natural calamity. It happens due to the death of Kamadeva, the god of desires. Whenever Kamadeva dies, the Karma Pralaya is set into motion. The Lalitopakhyan describes the story of the sudden death of Kamadeva. Now, before getting into this story, let us first understand who Kamadeva is and what his role is in this universe. Because there is a very close relationship between Kamadeva and Shiva Parvati, which is central to the Lalitopakhyan as well as to the Saundarya Lahari. Most of us know Kamadeva as the divine matchmaker who strikes every living being with his arrows of love. But there's more to him. First of all, Kamadeva is the son of Lord Vishnu and Devi Lakshmi. And contrary to popular belief, he is not just responsible for love or lust. Instead, he is responsible for creating an attraction towards desires in general. The Kam in Kamadeva means desire. The desire to seek food, the desire to seek a partner in marriage, the desire to seek children, the desire to seek beauty, aesthetics, art, entertainment, strength, power. So in short, all desires that one can think of. But again, Kamadeva doesn't cause the desires. He only attracts us towards them. It is Sri Mahakali who causes these desires within us. But it is Kamadeva who creates an attraction in our minds so that we seek those desires. Without this attraction, desires would never manifest. So how did Kamadeva die? It all began with the self-immolation of Devi Sati in the Daksha Yajna. As a result, Lord Shiva got separated from Shakti. When the demon Tarasur came to know about this, he performed severe penance to get the attention of Lord Brahma. When Lord Brahma appeared before him, Tarasur, who knew Lord Shiva's situation, decided to use it in his advantage and asked for a boon that he could be killed only by the son of Lord Shiva and Shakti. He knew that Shakti, that is Devi Sati, had immolated herself, and Lord Shiva had no desire to get remarried. Hence, he thought that by asking for such a boon, he had virtually become immortal. Thus, he started to wreak havoc in the three worlds. Indra and the other demigods, who were troubled by the ill doings of Tarasur, were desperately looking for a solution. They turned to Kamadeva and requested him to sow the seeds of love in the heart of Lord Shiva. Kamadeva agreed. By that time, Devi Sati had already taken her birth in the house of the king of mountains, Himalaya, as Devi Parvati. She was of the age of marriage and ardently sought to get married once again to her lord. In order to come close to him, she started visiting Sthanavashram, a place on Mount Kailas where Lord Shiva used to dwell with his Ganas. She started to serve him every day by making beautiful fragrant garlands which she offered at his feet. But Lord Shiva did not look at her even once. He kept meditating with his eyes closed. Determined to bind Lord Shiva with a desire to remarry, Kamadeva left for Sthanavashram with his wife Rati and his dear friend Vasant. On the way, Rati Devi was filled with fear and intuition of something very bad. She expressed this to her husband and explained to him that it is unwise to even attempt to challenge Lord Shiva. The consequences of their action could be none other than self-destruction. She insisted that they should cancel the mission and return back. But Kamadeva, although afraid from within, did not show his fear, but instead expressed his displeasure at Rati Devi's lack of trust in his powers. He reminded her of his past victories and assured her that he will be successful in binding Lord Shiva with desire. And with this in mind, Kamadeva, Rati Devi and Vasant entered the premises of Sthanavashram.